feed on stolen data. I know it is, and it's killing the planet. It's gonna kill us all. I firmly believe it. But before it kills all of us, I'm gonna use it to do fun okay? What's the hardest part about balancing music, improv, and parenting?
Yeah, quit one of those. I saw La La Land, and it changed my whole perspective on jazz. Oh my god, Ryan Gosling saved jazz.
To certain nerds, you're gonna be like, those are like fighting words. Ryan Gosling saved jazz? They're gonna come for you. Stop resisting! Luke had some camera trouble at the beginning of this call, and he only had like an old iPhone to shoot on, and it didn't have any space, so it didn't record the first part. But then it did. The episode's a little janky, but it's fun. I really do love this conversation, so I hope you stick around for it and enjoy it. I also cut out all the F-bombs because I just realized I got really comfortable. I also have been dealing with a lot of anger because the internet has come for me. So, like, I don't know, I swear a lot, and I cut out all the F-bombs because there was so many. My name is Luke, and this is Brain Juice with Noah Chrysler. Yeah, try to use as many filler words as possible, you know, just, like, really try to up, okay? Here we go. We've been doing takes for an hour. Luke, welcome to the show, dude. Today on Brain Juice, I'm sitting down with Luke, one of my best friends from my Atlanta chapter, a fellow improviser, town drunk, and one of the funniest, most observant people I know. When we were in Atlanta, Luke saw me in a way very few people did, and today I want to capture that. Luke's also now a dad, which is a wild and beautiful thing, and I wanted to understand how that's shaped him in his humor and his creativity. This episode is part artifact, part curiosity quest about noticing the weird and meaningful, growing up without growing dull, and how to keep your integrity while building a life that's real. Luke, welcome to Brain Juice. Neil deGrasse Tyson is hiding in my closet. Uh-oh, your device storage is running low. You have to delete stuff. All right, if this episode is in super low quality, it's Luke's fault. You can re-download him right after. So sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. Re-download him right after the call.
This gate key that opens up my pool. I don't need that.
I'm so sorry.
Letterboxd, literally my favorite app that I store all of my movie materials.
You're
there.
Fine. Just come back.
Should I delete these photos of Lucille's birth?
Yeah. You know what? I don't apologize, Luke. You should have a computer, dude. Like, that's not my fault. Let's get that other juicy camera angle back. Just, like, tilted. Oh, hell yeah. This is so cool.
So juice.
This is my friend, Luke. He's just a cool musician. Okay, you ready? All right, Luke. To start, can you introduce yourself the way that you do it if you were on stage, and maybe tell us one weird thing that you noticed this week?
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Hey, my name's Luke. How's it going today? How's everyone doing? Wow, good audience today. Wow, you have a drink in your hand, you have a drink in your hand. I love a crowd of alcoholics. I think all of Leonardo DiCaprio's movies are connected.
Interesting.
Hear me out. Who's seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Raise your hand.
I have never seen that, but
Great.
I know about it. I know he plays a special needs person.
Say it. Young. Say it. Yep.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying that. What are you talking about?
It was the 90s. It was different. Wow.
Yeah. Woo.
Anyway, so he plays that type of person. And basically, he goes through a traumatic life experience. And I think that he's actually a Time Lord, Doctor Who-ish.
Sure.
Like, you know how like some people say our past lives are all connected? I actually think in our past life I was a jazz musician, and then Tiffany was like my cat, my wife. Now in this life was a cat who came to my front porch while I was playing the sax.
I love that. Like the movie Soul.
Exactly like the movie Soul. Yeah. I wish that movie was better. But
really? I love that movie. That movie's great. You don't like that movie?
Pixar fell off hard these past couple years. And Soul, I like the music aspect of it, but I think once again it kind of got lost in this existentialness of it.
Dude, that's what I liked about that movie. I didn't watch the Firewater movie, but I don't know.
Same thing.
Did you watch that one?
Yeah, Elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good concept, right? They always have a fun, cool concept that you would read like fan fiction about, or like like they just saw like Avatar, the Last Airbender, and was just like,
let's rip that.
Let's completely rip that. But then try to make people cry.
Sure. Luke, I like this conversation because this morning I had like this guy on who's like, and it was a fantastic conversation, but it was like he's like a social media like philosopher, like he's like an accomplished like philosopher guy, and like I was so nervous for the thing, and I was like really really high stress, and I spent so long preparing for it, and now it's like the end of the day, and it's kind of just like, hey, let's around a little bit, right? So this is going to be a fun time to just kind of around for a little bit, and I'm stoked about that, right? Like this morning we were talking about like, you know, like what's this cool like theory to like live the best life possible, and now it's like, no, Pixar sucks now.
It's a complete 180 of your day.
yeah, and I bet my subscribers are gonna be like, what the is happening? But you know what? I don't have too many of them, so we're trying shit, guys. Here we go.
Sometimes you gotta live in the chaos. Live in the chaos.
Let's do it. Welcome to the Chaos Zone. Guys, if you're enjoying the episode, hit the like button. Also, post a comment. Post a comment about something that we're talking about, all right? What's something that you saw on the internet that traumatized the hell out of you, huh? I want to know. Post in the comments. We do talk about that at the end of the conversation, but post it anyway. Also, guys, I think like 10% of you that watch this YouTube channel are subscribed to the channel, so go subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and that way I can get some ad revenue and like make this way better. Luke, do you remember how we first met? And what did you think of me back then? Who's this arrogant white man who won't shut his mouth?
It was just perfect for improv, am I right?
Yeah.
So, if I'm not mistaken, that's how we met. It was at one of the jams, right? In Atlanta at the old theater, which is now Limelight Theater, but used to be called Village Theater. Mm-hmm. And I think I was already I already took a class there, and then you were in the midst of taking classes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you moved from the other place where you were from. You've moved
New York.
Times. New York, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that small town you're from?
I'm from Syracuse, New York. That's currently where I'm at right now. So there we go.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, you moved from there and stuff like that, and then we just did improv. But that's one of those things of where maybe we don't really talk to each other until like after the thing. But we talk to each other in like a group setting, so you don't really get to know each other. You just continue bidding, and then I think that's when we connected. I just noticed that, oh, he's just still going. I love this.
He doesn't shut up. Yeah, no, I loved it because you were like group dad. You were like, you know, you were very like, you had this like energy about you where it was very much like summer camp counselor, which like I love, right? And like. Yeah. I had done improv for years and years and years, and like I was like trying to make friends in Atlanta, and I went to a jam, I was trying to get onto the house team, and like I remember talking to the members of the house team, and they were like, "What you should do is you should go through all the levels," and I'm thinking to myself, "That's like $1,000," and so that's what I did is I took all the levels there, and so as I was in the midst of doing that, I went to the jams as well to kind of meet some members of the house team, and I believe at that time you were on the house team, right? Like, you were like in it.
I believe I was already in it, but I wasn't hosting the jams yet, so it was one of those jams where it was just unfiltered chaos in a good way.
Yeah, no, it was the best, dude. There were a few of those jams that were like, I remember there was a good string of like 3 of them where I was like, wow, this was really fun and really great. And like,
yeah, I mean, when I was hosting them, and first off, it was probably the only time of my, at that time, 7 years of doing improv when I had some sort of leadership role, if that makes sense. I was always part of a cast. I was always part of a team. You know, I was always the like, yeah, whatever you guys cook up, let's just do it. I'm in it. But this is the first time where I was just like, oh, I have to like facilitate. Oh no, because I'm an agent of chaos. If I see something weird, I want it to continue. But understandably, people are bad with boundaries. So it's kind of like, I have to let the chaos go up until a certain point, because then no one's gonna have fun. Yeah, it was
got it. You're talking about like, you know, people that show up to a jam and then just say out of pocket, crazy, horrible shit that nobody should ever say to anybody, and they're like, well, it's improv, so it's okay. And it's like
100%. Like to be even more specific, like one of the first ones, I think like the second one, The first one had only like 6 people in it, so I was just like, "This is fun, cool. This is basically a workshop. What do you guys want to work on? Let's do it." The second one had like 20 people in it because like it caught on, so that was a bigger, like I would have people on the main stage circle around and then have them go to the wings and like go like just go everyone go at the same time, like just have fun. It was complete chaos, but I never played. I just let everyone kind of go. And then I noticed there was this one guy who kept coming into scenes and saying misogynistic stuff, like verbally, God, women are so annoying. God, I just wish my fat girlfriend would just leave. And then you feel literally the room just kind of shelter down. So
Yeah,
then
it's like,
I noticed as I wasn't playing, but I was like, it's my job now to come in and just kind of go, "Hey, man, is everything okay? What's going on?" Like,
I noticed you hate women. So it seems like, here's an acting note, you seem to hate women. So, like, let's talk about that. Like,
let's talk about that. I know you have a weird relationship with your mother. Tell me more about that. And just literally tempt them to, like, almost do therapy.
That sounds like a nightmare. Improv's really weird because, like, you're just, like, it's like brain jazz, right? And so, like, if you have weird up shit in your head, like it's suddenly just like out there and like you didn't mean to accidentally be like, oh hey, I don't know. That's why it's beautiful. It's like, it's like
100%. I 100% agree on the brain jazz of it all, because that is very true. I saw La La Land and it changed my whole perspective on jazz. Oh my god, I love jazz now. Ryan Gosling saved jazz, but technically he also saved improv too, because
I feel like to certain nerds, you're gonna be like, those are like fighting words. Ryan Gosling saved jazz. They're gonna come for you and eat your flesh.
I'm both infuriating jazz enthusiasts and improv nerds right now.
Oh yeah, you pissed off everybody. I'm mad. I don't even know why. I don't really love jazz too much, but like I'm pissed off. Like
you're turning red. Chill. But that is so true. I mean, that's my favorite thing about improv is just one, I treated it like I needed to get my 10,000 hours, right? Malcolm Gladwell. And I did. And I actually felt the difference between how I played versus the people who started out at the same time as me. Now, of course, I still have so much to learn, right, over the course of like however long I was doing it. But I just realized that, I generally am just having now the most fun I can. Like, I stressed out. I took all of the stress of like learning it and actually implementing it, and then implementing so much that it's in my bones that I don't even have to think about implementing it, and just doing it. Like those techniques I've done so often that I did have access to that faster than most people. And I think it is just about just doing it. Like get your 10,000 hours out of the way.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. I that's why I love you, dude. You're the best. You're like a huge nerd about improv. And I'm like, I love people who are such huge, weird losers about like, like improv people take it so seriously, right? And I used to love that. I was the biggest. I cared the most. I was like, I'm going to care about this the most. Like, you denied me. You did a denial. Like, like bad. Like,
That's so funny. My favorite is when people go, "Oh my god, dude, I just saw this TJ and Dave clip the other day. I gotta send it to you." Like, man, they play so like they're just so in it. Like, I want to do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes. Hell yeah. I remember I did this one whole thing about like Frasier. I had just watched a bunch of Frasier and I had like taken notes on it, and I was like talking about. I just remember talking for 15 minutes once about Frasier and how it relates to scene work and developing like I don't know. And you know what? I hate it. Makes me cringe so hard, but at the same time, like that shit is super useful. I don't care who you are if you're trying to make entertainment of any kind. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know much about how my life has progressed, Luke, but I was in a thing. It's so funny that we're talking about these things because, like, misogyny kind of came up a bit, right? And, like, like comedic dynamics and understanding, like, why things work from a creative standpoint, right? This is something I talked heavily about with Chris Do, right? Who's, like, this super famous branding guy, and he talks about, like, He talks about like how to make good entertainment, right? And he was talking about on his podcast, like they deliberately positioned themselves as like one of them was like a hippie, right? And the other one was like a business guy, right? And because they had this like polarity dynamic, right? It made it so that they had a really interesting show. And like, dude, all of those premises that you know from improv and all of those lessons, they apply to everything else in like a creative space, which is really, really helpful. When you're making things and you've studied that shit, I started in high school, or I started in middle school. Then I like became like one of the officers in the improv club in my high school, and then like in college, like I was surrounded by a of like super nerdy, like, you know, like improvisers who were all hugely competitive, but like, you know, you had to be cool about it and you couldn't admit that you wanted to get more stage time than everybody else, like, you know. And so because every improv theater is that way, right? Like improvisers are so like, I don't know. And so I don't know. I've obsessed about those ideas. And so the fact that you also share that level of obsession is super fun for me. I don't know.
I think obsession is key to a lot of things, because how else are you going to like really understand what it is you're doing with a thing, right? No matter what it is, religion, love, dating, like literally whatever it is, I think finding the most that you can about it really does help, while once again still being fluid and malleable to take any challenge that comes your way when it comes to that. Like for example, like my YouTube algorithm is also just filled with like BTS screenwriting, like, you know, like literally a short the other day came up of like, did you know that David Fincher always usually takes about 100 takes for each of his films? This Social Network scene with Andrew Garfield smashing the laptop literally took 100 takes. And I was just like, okay, I already knew that. But it's a great reminder of how he genuinely is like so meticulous with everything that he does. Why he makes one of the best movies of all time is because he wants to learn as much about it as possible. Him and his actors are willing to go to the full length of like finding the truth behind what they're actually saying. And then having such a dense like screenplay by Aaron Sorkin, like specifically the Social Network, every word and everything that's being said, especially based off of like a true thing, always has meaning. And if you treat something like that, even if you know how many shitty movies are made every day that don't even like consider that much depth into what they're doing, then you're really loving what you're doing. And that's kind of like when I talk about things like that and passions, and then at the same time when I wanted to do the same thing with improv, that's why I could justify going out 4 or 5 times a week, a night, just not only to take a class, but work at the place that I did to get like free bucks to pay for classes, right? Get to know the people, get to know the staff, and like actually become a family that way, you know. Like then you get to hang out with people after work. You get to bum a cigarette from your third level teacher who you have a crush on, but you don't want to tell anybody because she's like 20 years older than you. And then you get all the info of like, hey, read this book, watch this video, you know. You can watch now shows for free. Come in and just watch the shows and see what they're up to, and just ingest as much of it as you can.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Luke, what's like I had this whole thing about this segment's supposed to be called Luke's Weird Antenna, your ability to notice overlooked, odd, and emotionally real things, right? But I think that's instead of talking about that, I think we should just have a nerdy conversation about improv, right?
Which is basically that. Like,
hell yeah. Yeah. To people like who are potentially watching this who haven't had as much improv training as both of us. Like,
lucky you have a life. Congratulations.
I hate that. Like, said that sentence came out of my mouth. Like
that person makes $100,000 a year. Congratulations.
But like, no, I do think that improv is like a really cool thing that enhances your life and enhances shit in a lot of ways. What is like some of your favorite like concepts from improv that like have changed the way that you live your life? Things that like people talk about like improv superpowers, which I think is so dumb. But like, you know, like what's some shit that like you're like, oh, this concept is actually really cool, really valuable, has helped me a ton. Stuff like that. Stuff that you've taught to a room of people in a class as you've like taught a class or something like that.
I think and this might sound counterproductive, but hear me out. Questions only. Only because there have been so many times when maybe I'm at a party and there's either going to be someone who's just a talker and just wants to talk your ear off about their thing, or you might be someone, like, you have that awkward moment of where, like, your wife knows that girl, and then her husband is also there, and then they start talking, and then they kind of, like, go away, and now it's just me and the husband who have no idea.
So just for clarity, like, you're talking about the short form improv game, questions only, where, like, you can only ask questions, and if you respond with something that isn't a question, then you're, like, out or whatever, and then, like, the next person takes your place. And you're saying that game, like, helps you, like, deal with dinner party awkwardness and shit?
Exactly. Or really just breaking the ice, right? Because one, a philosophy is you don't want to ask a lot of questions in improv because you'll only stay stagnant into what the moment is. Questions are important to reveal that, oh, this character who's living in this universe, who should know everything about the situation, has now new information and now has to react to that, right? Also acting internally. Externally. But basically why that helped in the social situation here in the real world is because this person who we have zero context about each other, I get to now learn everything about him. And questions only really let me say, okay, the spotlight's not on me. I want to get to know more about you. They start opening up because now I'm showing interest into maybe something mundane that they do for, like, their job, something like as a hobby that they do. And I get to maybe even learn more about that if I never know more about it. But if they something like, yeah, I love hiking and I just went to this hill over there. And I'd be like, wow, I went to that hill too. Now we have a connection.
Yeah, dude, that right there is, like, the foundation of, like, in my opinion, like, what I'm trying to build my career around is, like active listening, right? It's like active listening and, like, asking intelligent follow-up questions.
What a terrible word to fuck up on. Oh my
I know,
God.
right? Intelligent. Hi, I'm very intelligent. You guys want to see how intelligent I am?
Can you hire me for the job? I'm very intelligent in a minute.
Oh, man. You know what I'm really stoked about is that, like, I hope that I never have to go, like apply for a job ever again, right? Like, I just want to work, like, shitty bartending jobs and around on the internet for the rest of my life. Like, that's what I want to do, and wherever that takes me, if I die in a gutter, like, I'm happy to. Like, I'm happy to die in a gutter so that I never have to wear a tie and go, hi, Mr. Smith, and get him his expense report. No, Mr. Smith, I'd rather run you over with my shitty piece of shit car. How about that? Like, like, dude, for real, I hate bullshitty little jobs, where you have a boss that you just hate. Like, oh my God. I love my bartending jobs. My coworkers there are awesome. Like, they're so much fun. One of them rides a motorcycle, and the other one, like, plays Pokemon Go, and, like, they're the best. I don't know. That's just, like, the way that living is better. Do you remember, me when I was, like, there? What do you remember about me? Because that's a very specific portion of my life, and I think I'm a bit different than what I was, like, when we were there. I was, like, kind of, like, I don't know, depressed a lot when I was, like, in that period of my life. I don't know. What are your thoughts? You remember that?
Yeah, 100% I remember that because there were so many moments where we would have such fun, like this amount of intensity and funness, especially when it came to, like, doing something. Like, it was just great. Like, the fact that you were just like, hey, let's just do a sketch. Just come over my place and we'll just do something. And then we just did it. It was stupid, but it was fun. You wanted to do the Meatball Factory stuff, which is just a bunch of, for context with people, it was like a bunch of short form improv games that you put on TikTok, and it was so fun. You just put a funny screen behind us, and just we all line up in this tight space and just speak into the microphone and have fun. It was
in my tiny little studio apartment with my dog, like, crated in the other, because, like, my dog's crazy. Right? So, like, it was not a conducive space to do anything like that, but it was hot, right? Because the air conditioning barely worked, and it was a mess, and, like,
oh my God,
it was so much
insane.
fun.
And I loved it. But I guess why that's such a fond memory, especially, like, from meeting you, is because that kind of shows of, like, you as a person, of, like, you have an idea and you want to see it through, which is amazing. A lot of people have ideas and they just go, I don't have the time for that, or it's not even worth it. Who's gonna see it? You don't give a fuck. Fucking 6 people can see it, and you're just like, dude, 6 people saw it. And I just go, yeah, let's go. Like, that's awesome. But also you get to make stuff with your friends, you know, like even if like it doesn't go anywhere, right? At least you get to spend a Saturday, like 2 hours just having a good time.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yep.
to answer your question though, like you said, what was the first like memory of you? What was it again?
Yeah, yeah, first impression, or just like, I don't know, like I was like, there was a bunch of weird shit. Like I just remember that was a very distinct version of me that like you saw. Part of content creation for me is like explaining how I've changed throughout the years, right? And I think that you and James both saw like this very specific version of me. Like I shaved my head, and I was like, you know, addicted to fitness, and I had a weird eating disorder, and like I was like, you know, trying to build my business, and like.
Now, once again, you basically just mentioned you were trying to transform into Joe Rogan.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say, all right, so to kind of like answer that question, but then also kind of like reel it in of like, basically, like from my first impression of when I first saw you, I was like, oh, this kid gets improv. This guy's funny. Awesome. I want to talk to him more. And then as I got to know you, and like you talked about some of your old businesses that you did before, like, didn't you do like a car rental thing or something? A dealership?
My dad ran a auto repair shop, and I
something like that.
I did a bunch of shit. I've done
so much shit. And then you mentioned the college stuff, and I was just like, oh man, that's cool. This guy obviously gets it, right? And then when I got to like know you more, and then I started seeing your neuroses. Is that the correct question? Right? No, neurotic.
My compulsions, yeah.
I actually thought it was cool. I was like,
hell,
all right, cool. Because this guy is actually passionate about the thing that he wants to do, and he actually has generally like crazy ideas. They might not be great ideas, but they're crazy. And if we're all crazy enough to do it, it might be a good idea.
Yeah. No, I really have this thing about like, you talked about like, you know, even if it doesn't like blow the up and make $1 million, it's like it was still a good use of time, right? Because like you, like, dude, and that's what I've realized, and that's what I started to put together is the proudest I am is like when I just made something, right? Like if I made something, if there's an artifact that I can go look up, and it's like, oh, if there's a digital artifact that lives on the internet from a time in my life when I made something, right? Like. That's the shit that I'm the most proud of. And every single time, I've done hundreds of projects, and like they all don't seem to really amount to much, but like I'm proud of each one, you know, and together they kind of like, you know, make this weird tapestry of weird eclectic bullshit that I've done with my strange life, and I think it's really fun. Okay, I want to ask you questions about your life and things that you've learned, because I feel self-indulgent because I've asked you questions about me, which is weird. So
which
instead,
is very much you.
True. Narcissistic, Noah.
and baby. Whew.
Cool. All right, you had a kid, dude. You had a kid, and she's cute, man.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, she's insane. She's insane. She's insane. In a great way.
My first question is it also narcissistic to name your kid after yourself?
I didn't do that. I didn't call her Lucindo. What are you talking about?
Yeah, her name is Lucille.
But it's not Lucindo.
That's true. Honestly, no, it was after Lucille Ball, wasn't it?
So it's both.
Love it.
I obviously, like, I'm a junior. My dad is also Lucindo, and I always like that passage of that part. And I know that obviously I was going to have a girl because he has 7 daughters and I'm the only son. So statistically, the one kid I've always wanted to have is going to be a girl for sure. So
Aww.
I knew it was either going to be like, it was definitely always going to be Lucille because I've always loved Lucille Ball. And then I just so happened to marry someone who also loves Lucille Ball, which is very like the universe being like, here's a gift. And then literally we had a girl, and I was just like, yeah, Lucille, that's it. Her middle name is Pearl, which I was just like, oh, cool, like Pokemon. And then my wife was like, no, like my grandmother. And I was like, oh. Whoops.
I'm going to name my kid Blue or Platinum. Like,
version. Yeah.
Ultra Moon, come here, your dinner's ready. Like,
hey, X, Y, dinner's ready, come on.
Yeah. Like, it's an Elon. I don't know. Dude, hell yeah. What do you think, like, being a dad has changed about you, right? Like, when you were, like, what has it taught you? How have you grown as a man or as a person?
Just nothing else matters, if that makes sense. Like, I guess, like, as I was growing up and, like, I've had, like, weird jobs, especially in, like, Kissimmee, Florida, which is just, like, ghetto, even though it's right next to Disneyland. Just being around so many irresponsible people all my whole life, actually taught me how to be responsible. So like hanging out with crackheads and made me go, let's not do crack. And then hanging out with people who are drunkers, like, hey, let's not be a drunk. Let's not get a DUI. Let's not get arrested. Let's not do this, XYZ. So I was like, okay, cool. And that just helped me out with also going, hey, aside from my own stuff with my father, I want to be there for my daughter. So all you have to do is just be there. That's the simplest thing, right? Like, of course, there are so many moments where people reach out and just like, hey, let's do this. This would be a fun project to do. Let's do that. And I go, hey, that's great. But honestly, my time is actually more effective instead of doing another project that might make me happy for the moment, playing the long game and making my daughter happy. So then that way she could, honestly, for selfish reasons, she could still love me when she's an adult.
That's so sweet, man. That's so sweet. I think that's like really beautiful, right? It's like you've factored in fatherhood in a way that like serves your self-interest, right? Like like, selfishly, I want my daughter to grow up to like me, right? Like, that's cool, man. Like, and it makes you present, and it makes you active, and it makes you, I assume, a fantastic dad. So I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and of course, like, everyone has been talking about, like, just be there, be present, and stuff like that, And then I literally, what I do is when I get home, I just take my phone and I throw it somewhere, and then I don't find it until after bed. But it is like 5 minutes of me going, just doing that for 5 minutes, trying to
Dude, that's amazing. I love that. That's amazing. Like you deliberately like set your phone aside so that you can be present like with your kid and stuff. That's super cool.
You're not listening. I throw my phone.
You're like, I throw my iPhone 11 that has no storage and a shitty camera. And also you don't own a computer, which I didn't realize like the beauty of that. Like that's such a beautiful thing because like you have a daughter. So like, you can't be on a computer because like you're, I don't know, instead of a, instead of a daughter, I have a computer.
It's like when you need to get an upgrade. You're like, you know what? It's time. You go to the Apple Store. I'm like, hey, I want to trade in my old Mac. I'm ready for a daughter. Can I get the daughter 11? I know it has a better camera.
Oh, that's probably so real. I bet being a dad is so like rewarding and awesome, but like every so often, like when they're screaming, it's like I'm not asking you like to admit this, but like I bet like when I'm a dad, in the back of my head, I'm just gonna go, I have a pillow right here, and no one would know. Just like just like
you know what, Noah, I will admit it. It's a stuffed animal. The little elephant with the long trunk.
Sure.
Right on the windpipe. Anyway,
which nobody would act on, but like, I mean, I don't know. Just like that's what happens when you deal with stress and you're a human being. It's like, God damn it. Like, this is so frustrating. I don't know. Anyway.
That's honestly on this moment, and this is probably clickbait for your podcast. There are so many moments where I just go, oh God, just shut up. Like in my head, not out loud. Because it's just like, it's only going to get worse. She's only 2 right now, so it's only going to get worse, especially when she starts, she knows 25 words now. She doesn't say well, right? Like apples,
sure.
Appa. And I'm like, yep, you got it. But then when she learns a new word, it's Nana, 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 Nana. And I go, that's wonderful. Nana, Nana. Okay, we get it. Nana, Nana. Honey, it's your turn. Switch out.
Dude, your daughter is gonna be so cool. She's raised by 2 like improviser comedian people who are like media obsessed. Like your daughter's gonna be so dope. She's gonna have seen everything.
She's gonna be interesting. We have record players that she likes. I have like already played her a vinyl of Metallica, and she just stares at it and just does like a little dance like this. So she's gonna be weird, man. She likes dance music. She
Your daughter's knowledge of the MCU is gonna be so extensive. She's gonna have like an encyclopedic superhero inventory, as well as like I saw she had a drum set, right? Didn't you get her a drum set or like? Yeah.
Well, James, we know James.
Yes.
He has an electric drum set, and he can't play in his apartment, so he brought it here, and it's right there in that corner. And of course, I'm like, great, I get to play it when he's not here.
Hell yeah.
But Lucille has actually played it more than me. So, future drummer right there.
Hell yeah. Also, James, get on this podcast, dude. We gotta around and like be on the show, dude.
James, you better get on this fucking podcast.
Get on the show. Hopefully James has a fucking computer.
You can borrow my iPhone 11, James.
That's true. Hold on, I can ship you a rutabaga that you can film the podcast on, James. And you can speak directly into a vegetable, and that'll give you a higher bit rate than Luke's shitty phone. Cool. All right. What's the hardest part about balancing music, improv, and parenting? Got any time management tips for us, Luke?
Yeah. Quit one of those. Just stop doing it all. You're not Freddie Mercury. You can't want it all. That was a deep cut. Anyway. It's honestly, yeah. Because, like, for example, like, before Lucille, like, yeah, I was making music. I put some stuff on Spotify. And it was just a fun time. I wasn't going to do anything else with it, like, promote it and stuff like that. Even though I could have. It was just fun and fun for me. And then my last album that I put out, I actually thought was my best work. And I was like, awesome. The next one's going to crush it. And then the baby came. And I was like, you know what? That's actually fine. It's like nice to have like a nice finite. I said, like, I made a positive spin on it. I was like, you know what? Instead of saying like, oh, that part of my life is dead. No, it's just a nice box set of like, wow, those 3-4 years where I made music, boom, that lives on its own. And then, it's just
I don't think that that's the end for you. I don't. I think that like you're gonna get like I think that you're in a season of your life right now where you have a young child, and like that is the first priority, right? But like, you're already talking about though how like you're like introducing her to your hobbies. You know, she's going to become a musician and stuff. Like, you know, I mean, some of like my best memories, like my dad, you know, very different person, but like my dad was a mechanic, right? And like he loved woodworking, and he loved like his uncle owned a junkyard, right? And so like, you know, he was always like ripping shit apart and like putting it back together and making it work, right? And so like I remember like we would do the Pinewood Derby race and shit, right? And so like he got to use his woodworking skills, and we would build these cars that were sick as hell. And like, I don't know. So are you looking forward to that stuff?
I remember you telling me that. That's awesome. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm looking forward to, because I can't wait for the moment of where she genuinely can play like the drums. And I'd be like, hey, Lucindo, do you want to write a song? And like helping her, guide her into like how to do that, and like let her be the creative mind throw towards that. I mean, that'll be like another 5 years from now, but I can't wait for like 2 years from now when she wants to play dress up. I want to see where her imagination goes. And because of the improv, hopefully the improv aspect of it, I'm ready to yes hand and put on all the makeup, tutus. I'll be the dragon. I'll be 800 different characters on her. Honestly, probably almost like a D&D journey. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude!
She's gonna have her own campaign.
Luke, you're gonna be the best. I mean, you are the best dad ever. You know, like it's just like I don't know. It's like having the coolest friend ever, like raise you throughout your life. Like that's so cool. I don't know, man.
Just ready to say, yeah, man. I'm gonna actually be the dungeon master of her life.
Hell yeah, the dungeon master of her life is fantastic.
Write that down.
That's a really good quote. That genuinely is a really good quote. You could write a parenting book.
I'm so glad I made up space so this is recorded, because that was actually genuinely really good.
No, yeah. No, for real. You could definitely like write like a parenting guide through the lens of like Dungeons and Dragons. I think that would be really cool. Like, you know, like, hey, it's important to find out like, you know, what class your kid is, right? Like, you know, so they can skill into a thing, and like, you know, and also you don't want to force the wrong class, because they might have to like reclass, and then they have to split up their skill points, and that sucks for everybody. So like, you know, like try to like, I don't know. Do you ever feel like I am afraid that like I like a certain, okay, sometimes when I date certain people, I get so passionate about my hobbies that I input those hobbies and passions into the relationship in a way that like that sometimes is off-putting to people, right? And they're like suddenly like, hey, I don't want to do this weird business that you have, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, like so it's like does that ever come into your fatherhood stuff where it's like I don't know, like does that make sense? Like these parents that like put things onto their kids, do you fear that, or do you have an approach for that or something like that?
That is so great, because my parents had no interest. Like they're not the ones who showed me music and movies and all that stuff. I mean, them working so much and leaving me home alone by myself was influenced me to go ahead and get there. So that's where I never had that pressure. So I don't know what it's like to put that onto somebody else, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. As you know, I'm a pretty chill dude, so whatever anybody wants to do, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, they're more than happy to do it. I think the more fear is that I don't want maybe a moment of where I joke around when I'm not supposed to joke around, and then like really.
That's the most fun time to joke around, though. Like, you know.
But if she's like generally maybe being bullied or something,
sure.
and like
you're not like gonna join in, be like, okay, heighten, like, you know.
You do have a big forehead, honey, so I don't know what. Cover it up. I don't know what you want from me. Like, just really start.
You know, maybe they wouldn't make fun of you so bad if it was smaller. Like, you know, oh my god. Oh, that's so funny.
Honey,
so,
Ozempic is now everywhere now. You should be on it.
Oh my god.
No, that's
Is that going to be a thing? Is that a thing? Like, do you think they're going to give Ozempic to kids? I mean, they probably already do. That's crazy.
What it is I think, and this is real shit. The government did not want me to say that. You saw how my camera moved? They don't want me to say it, but I will say it.
Yeah, they're trying to silence you, dude.
They're trying to silence me. So I think what is going to happen is there's going to be, because I've already seen commercials for it, like it's normal. It's going to be packaged in a way that it's like in your food, or it's like Gatorade now serves, like instead of electrolytes, this stuff, you know, like people put collagen in almost a lot of other things. So it's going to happen the same way, you know? Like
That's crazy.
Just started taking protein, and thanks to ChatGPT, by the way. This episode is sponsored by ChatGPT. Thanks.
It's not sponsored, but every single episode is heavily produced with ChatGPT because, like, dude, oh my god, I built some custom GPTs that are going to, like, I don't want to hear any shit from anybody. People on Instagram love to give me so much shit about, like, oh, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, here's a bunch of bullshit about why you're evil for using the magic programs. And it's like, I'm sorry. Like, you know, I know Chris Doe told me to be nice and just to be like, hey, well, maybe my content's not for you. And you know what my approach is like, like, you know, like, guys, we were alive when magic happened, you know? Like, suddenly there's magic that exists, and now we can do anything. Like, you know, like if I stare at my computer hard enough and I work hard enough, like, I can turn my life into a TV show that automatically gets produced in a specific way. That's magic, okay? I've done production for 2 decades, okay? Since I was a little boy and I could type on the computer. I've always wanted the computer to be magic, and now it is. So if you're gonna tell me that, like, oh, well, Noah, you know, it's made on stolen data. I know it is, and it's killing the planet. It's gonna kill us all. I firmly believe it. But before it kills all of us, I'm gonna use it to do fun shit, okay? So that's my perspective, okay? Like, I don't know. Like, they're like, I'm sorry, but like, it kind of is looking like we're going the direction of a dictator, right? Like, I'm terrified. Everything's bad. So, like, I'm gonna use the magic stuff. Sorry, this was really fun. I really love talking to you, Luke, because, like, you get this side of me where it's like I'm just super passionate and crazy.
I love it, and I want to match it because it's 100% true. That's the correct word, magic. Because with every single technology that came up, it's always happened, right? TV was invented. Oh, this is the devil now incarnated into every household, brainwashing your children. They went to the moon. No, they didn't. It was staged. It was just like, this is now the next step of evolution. You've seen too many people have seen too many 80s movies, and things gonna be Skynet. And it's like, no. The worst is gonna happen is that we'll just boil our planet faster and lose a couple more trees. We'll be dead by then, brother. It's fine.
No, here's the thing. Is that those people are also correct. Like, I believe it will be Skynet. Like, you know, have you seen the Boston Dynamics shit? It's like they've got it. Like, they nailed it.
But I want to be John Connor, right? So I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna watch I'm gonna take my protein. I'm gonna get ready for the resistance. I'm ready. You know what I mean?
Now, I really believe that it's like, this is going to probably go super bad for all of us. Like, you know, it's like, I think that the government is going to use AI to make an authoritarian state where, like, they know your blood type and they know your zodiac sign and they can predict when you're going to take a shit or when you're going to sneeze, right? And so, like, I know that that's coming, okay? But in the meantime, and by the way, I also know that it was trained on stolen shit and it devalues artists' work, and that's terrible. And that sucks, you know? But we live in a market economy, okay? It also automated away my entire trade. I did advertising, okay? Now the computer can do it for you. Meta's thing is like, hey, just now all you have to do is pay us money and we'll just run the creative, you know, and it'll all be AI generated and it'll spit it all out. It's like, okay, well, I studied that my whole life. My whole life is studying advertising. So now I'm, okay? So cool. Like, but instead of like whining about this is devaluing art, and by the way, it is, and that sucks. Like, and those people have
I'm still waiting for your point.
But like, but we're all gonna die, and authoritarians coming, and like, you know, and like they're building a concentration camp in Florida, and ICE is like a secret Gestapo now that like.
But guess what? Who cares? I want ChatGPT to read my Letterboxd account and give me a recommendation. Who cares about any of that?
Yes.
I need my recommendation.
No, I care deeply. I care deeply. But, like, I can now, like, generate images of me, like, pretending to fly. Like, you know? So, like, let me have it. Like, let me have it. And stop being an asshole. You know? Like, that's what it is. Is, like, if you're an asshole, hide user from channel. Like, that's what it is. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. Jesus Christ. God, I'm going to get so many shitty, mean comments about, like, Noah's a prick. And you know what? Yup. Like, about this? Yup, I am. I'm mad. And I like the magic tools.
This is the short, baby. This is the YouTube short.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Cool. I'm sorry, Luke. We have strayed from the content of the... I need to ask more Luke-focused questions. Is there anything that you like really, really want to talk about? Is there a movie that like changed your life or blew the back of your head off? I don't know. How's your relationship to like, I don't know, drugs and alcohol changed since like you've become a father? Do you regret anything? Like, you know, like you're like, this is Everclear. Like I'm up. Like, how do you think I get through parenting?
No, those are all great questions. Let me see if I can remember one of them now that you said that. Okay. Dude, I'm watching movies constantly, my guy. Like, honestly, like, if I have to look at my Letterboxd account to, like, actually remember.
What's a movie that you know that I haven't seen that you're like, no one needs to watch that?
100%. You've never seen this movie. It's called Blue Valentine.
What's Blue Valentine about? Sell me on it.
I love it. All right. Elevator pitch. Ryan Gosling.
Here we go.
Michelle Williams.
Yep. He changed jazz.
Exactly. It's all full circle,
He saved it. Yeah,
just like jazz, it's the circle of fifths. Anyway.
I learned about that watching
Pixar. Yeah. So Blue Valentine, speaking of Blue Souls, Blue Valentine, basically it's Ryan Gosling, Michelle Williams, and they're a couple, and they have a child. And they are going through the turmoils of marriage and what that means for them, right? He is a painter, lower class, drives a pickup truck. He has a dog, right? She is just a nurse and whatever. And they decide, hey, let's go bring the kid to Nana and let's rent a hotel and just have a good weekend by ourselves, right? Does it turn out to be a good weekend? No, it does not. It gets dramatic. In the best way possible. Like, if you want, like, almost everything that we talked about, right, when it comes to, like, not only about acting, and not only talking about authenticity, but also talking about, like, just what it means, like, to be human, what it means to be a father, what it means to be responsible, what it means to be, like, you get your priorities straight. If you put everything that you can in a time capsule and actually see, if I could put my life and relationship with Tiffany for like the past 9 years in a 2-hour movie, it would be too intense, too much, right? But it would also be beautiful to be able to go ahead and see that evolution. I would say Blue Valentine has a somber ending to it, but you'll still love it because of all that.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm ready to be sad. Honestly, you know what I really like in movies? This is terrible. Because I will watch that, and it will be beautiful, and I will cry during it, and it'll be horrible, and it'll shoot me right in the chest. But I like movies that go down like Fruit Loops, you know? I'm just like my favorite movie of all time is Iron Man. It's my favorite. Like, you know, it's like, dude, it's like it's the best. It's like, oh, like it's like a male power fantasy, right? 100%. Of like, you know, like, you know, like of like, you know, like philanderer,
Yeah.
I think. You know, it's like this like dude who's like a scumbag, like, you know, who just like gets his shit kicked out of him, and then he like becomes the most powerful character ever,
100%.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
I love to just turn off my brain and be like, and listen to rock music and be like, what if I could fly? Like, you know, it's like it tastes like Fruit Loops going down. It's my favorite.
Dude, I love that. I mean, I just watched Big Trouble in Little China 2 weeks ago, and it's literally just that just him just going around kicking people, and the storyline does not matter. Who's the princess? Who has electric powers? Who are these minions? It doesn't matter. It's just a kick-ass movie for like an hour and a half. It's an escape. It's beautiful.
Luke, what's something that you're curious about or working on right now that feels alive?
Ooh, alive.
Does anything feel alive to you?
This might be helpful. I don't know if this will unlock something, but I'm actually working on bettering the relationships of the people that I already have in my life, and actually like trying to strengthen that, because as you know, I'm a bad like texter communicator. Like I don't always want to schedule my calls with people, but I noticed that that's actually helping, of like actually getting to talk to you, getting to talk to my friend Danny in California, getting to talk to my friend Joelle in Orlando, of like just, hey, let's talk this time. Let's just do it. And instead of just like sending memes or videos to each other.
Yeah. Dude, if you ever want to talk more, I would love to do that. That sounds wonderful. I love this idea too of like consistently making an effort to improve and enrich the relationships in your life. I think that that's really cool. Like what else? I don't know, like other than like scheduling time to chat, do you do anything else to like enhance those relationships, make them healthy, really juicify them, make them good? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's a plan other than just kind of getting back to like the roots, you know? Like, remember when you used to just go to like a friend's house on like a Saturday and you used to spend all day together? You guys didn't say anything to each other that was like mind bending or like whatever, but like just being there was like important, you know? And we didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
So I think it's just getting back to that, not because of nostalgic reasons, but maybe just because of human interaction reasons, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I love that. Dude, that was me with Alex and Isaac growing up. Like, you know, like we were kind of like dorky, right? But we were all neighbors. And so we would go over to Isaac's house and we would like drink Mountain Dew and like stay up till like 4 a.m. playing
Halo.
like Minecraft in his basement. Yeah, dude. Yes. He didn't have Halo. Like we never played Halo. He had an Xbox, didn't own
That's
Halo,
weird.
which was weird. Yeah, but like he was always, I love that man, but like I feel like he was always like strapped for cash, you know, like he always, you know, when you're 14 and you don't really know how to get any money, like, you know, getting $20 at 14 was like fucking like a big deal. And so he never had Halo, but he did have Minecraft, because you could get Minecraft for Xbox for like $5. And we would all sit there playing split screen co-op Minecraft until 4 a.m. It was the best. And or we would go build a fort in his backyard and like play, like he had paintball guns and we would freeze the paintballs and like just do crazy shit. Like, I don't know.
That's amazing. I thought we were the only people who did like, I love that. I think we're still in that Venn diagram age of where like we grew up on Jackass and we grew up on just shenanigans. So like
I watched that at Isaac's basement. Sorry, I probably should use his last name, but yeah, no.
Leave out. Redacted.
No, that I'm not gonna edit that much. Sorry, Isaac. Hopefully they don't come for you. Like, I don't know. Hell
That's
yeah,
awesome.
dude.
I love it. Yeah, I one thing I've been noticing the more that I talk to people, and just like especially around the same age, is that there is a great Venn diagram of similarities. Like almost everyone had a similar childhood in a way when you talk about like themes of like just being outside, just finding random shit to do. Having that one friend that you could just talk to whenever, sleep over and stuff like that. But I mean, even though they might have had it in different countries or different aspects of it, and I feel like that is something that is kind of hard to do as an adult, right? Like, when's the last time you slept over a friend's house?
Oh, that's so true. God, now I'm getting sad. I want to go sleep over. But how weird would that be if my 29-year-old ass was like, hey, can I sleep over?
I'm freaking Domino's. Let's go. Domino's and Mountain Dew. Let's go.
Luke, it's so good to talk to you. It genuinely is so nice to talk to you. It's like, dude, I've missed you so much. Like, I don't know. My life has been, when I was in Austin, I had no friends. And like, you know, and also like in my early years in Atlanta, I had very, very few connections, very few friends, right? And like, and so I don't know. Like how have you made friends as an adult? Like, do you have a core group of friends that like you've like connected with, that like you hang out with like that and stuff? Like, I don't know. What have you done? No, that makes me sad.
You know what it is? It's improv. Literally every person that like I talk to is improv. Like my wife is obviously better at that shit. Like she would actually talk to coworkers and be like, hey, thing and thing is having a thing. Let's bring Lucille and all that stuff. And I'm like, great. And then you go there, and it's the same situation I mentioned earlier of like, now I'm just sitting there, and there's like a dad who's like does a boring ass job, and I have to be like, so what do you do? And I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, you watched any good movies recently? And that's my connection. You know, it's just like that stuff is just so. But we never talk after that at all. The people that I've done improv with. Is like my core group of like 5 people that I just talk to all the time. Even if it's about nonsense, even if it's about the same shit over and over and over again, even if we just talk about improv again, I think having that core group is essential in my happiness. Because, well, this turned into a therapy session. Whoa. Bro. How does that make you feel? Deep, yeah, deep.
Super deep. No, I think that's beautiful. I think that like improv is, because that's what that is, right? It's like being able to. I don't know what your first experiences were like with improv, but I first started doing improv like in high school, right? Where I was surrounded by people who were very, very odd, right? Like outcasts, you know, people who were extremely strange. And I just remember, like, when I was really young and doing it, it was like these people, like, it wasn't even funny, right? It's just like, you know, like they're not funny or clever, you know, but it's just like it was just a group of people who wanted to have like large emotions, like, you know, and like be weird together. And I just remember walking into those rooms and it was like safe to do that in a weird way, and that has always been very meaningful to me. When like people are safe to just be as strange as they would like to be, you know, because I don't know, our world's super weird now. Have you noticed that people are weird and atrophied like post COVID? Like,
oh my god! And my whole my algorithm, other than like old UFC, is just Karens crashing out, just these guys just doing insane stuff in public and just being okay with it, like being okay being recorded doing this. There's people who are trying to get famous by doing the worst things possible. And I mean worst things by like still lip syncing to things, or like showing their ass, or like the Island Boys is a great example of probably the worst people ever to grace the internet.
I can name some people that. Okay.
Censor that.
Fuck. Now I gotta edit. Now I have to. I don't know.
This is the short.
No, I don't know. The internet's fucking. It's the Wild West out here, man. Like, I don't know.
Reality shows. I blame reality shows.
I think that I think that I had a certain level of like naivete that like I didn't. Like, I don't know. You kind of grow up thinking, like, at least I do, is like, oh, everybody's like a decent human being, you know? You ever notice that? Is that like this world's not full of decent human beings? Like, I don't know. I kind of was surprised. I was like, oh, like, you know, that's something about me, is that I think I have like a lot of faith in humanity. And like, I think that like, you know, do you think of, when you think of people, do you think like, oh, the average person in society, do you trust them or not? I felt that's what I felt stupid for trusting people. Like when you get burned, I think that makes you fundamentally question your thoughts about like, you know, are people good or bad? Like, do you think that people are fundamentally good or fundamentally bad? What do you think?
God, I love that answer. I think fundamentally people have the capacity to be good, but they rather be greedy.
Why do you think they
do that?
I think because it's easier. Like, for me, it's not that hard to be just nice. Like, if you see someone probably having like a shitty day, it's not hard to be like, hey, how's it going? Is everything okay? Do you want to talk about it? Like, it's not that hard just to be like an open ear or to throw in a couple cents in that guy's cup, you know, or just whatever. Whatever it is, it's not that hard, right? If you see a lady struggling to get something off the top shelf at the grocery store, first ask her before you reach, hey, do you need help with that? And then help her out. It's not that hard because I think it's just easier for people to ignore that stuff or just ignore like the evils or ignore being like open and loud about why are we purposely trying to others each other over just to gain something, right? I mean, we could get political, but that's literally all of politics right now. It's literally just who's the guy screaming the most, trying to over the next guy, which is terrible. But people see that it's working, so then they end up doing it themselves, right? They do it for their company, they do it for just their everyday life, and that sucks. I still want to.
Can I ask you a question? The more that I've reflected on these things in my life, like I've started to like. I think that what you're describing is values, right? I think that like you have this like inherent value of like if somebody's struggling, like, you know, like you help somebody out, like, you know, even giving money to like, you know, people who are homeless, like, you know, like that's a very specific type of person that does that, in my opinion, right? And I think that like I've taken those things for granted for a large part of my life, and as I have met people with different values than myself, as I've moved across the country and been all over the place, like I meet people with different values, and it makes me reflect on my values and why they are there, right? And I think that my values are there because of my parents, right? Like specifically my father. I think my father is a person with like, he has this like weird Catholic guilt that like, you know, like makes him feel really bad if he somebody over, right? And so like, you know, that's part of it. And then they like brought me to church as a kid, and so like that kind of like, you know, a little bit of that guilt was instilled in me, even though like the whole weird sci-fi shit about church, I kind of rejected that eventually. Like, you know, it's like, I don't think that the guy was a zombie, guys. I don't think that that's true, but that's my opinion. I don't know. It seems like a fishy story. Maybe if I was there,
3 days?
That's
lame. Should have been way quicker than that.
Yeah, dude. Like, if we're doing miracles, if he's all powerful, why 3, dude? Bring him back in 20
also,
minutes.
His miracle is getting more fish and wine. Like,
yeah.
Lame.
The water into wine one, that fucks. Like, you know, like that's
it should
cool.
have been water into White Claw. Then he would have.
It's true. There's no laws when you're doing it. But no, I think like my dad, and then I think about church, and then I also think about like Boy Scouts, right? They drilled like weird like values. You know, a scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Why do I know that? I'm 29. You know, like
it's in your DNA, baby. They beat you. They beat it into you.
And they really did, right? And it's like those organizations, those people, and those like value systems were drilled into me, and I realized that like that's not true for everybody, right? And I feel ignorant, like discovering that in my late 20s. It's like, wait, oh, okay, humanity does not reflect these things. So I don't know. Are there people in your life that like you think like why do you think you have the values that you have?
That's a good question. I think so. A lot of times what I tell people is that I wasn't really raised with parents. I was raised on TV. I only say that because a majority of the time, my parents never married, right? I mean, I could tell you like the whole origin story, but that'll be a whole another hour. But basically, they never...
Which I'd love to hear, by the way, on another time.
But basically, they're never married, so I was just with my mom the majority of the time, and then she was working as a single mother all the time. So sometimes she couldn't pick me up from school. I had to walk from the bus stop straight to home and take care of myself and do all that stuff. But in the intermediate, after doing my homework, what I had to do is watch TV. Who was on TV, especially in the 90s, you know, late 90s, early 2000s? You have such like do-gooder people on all sitcoms, right? Like not only from like Family Matters to Full House, but then even Scrubs, even all these other shows where like at the end of the 30 minutes, there is a lesson. and you get to learn from that lesson. No matter the archetype of like if it's a Dr. Cox who's just going off doing something crazy or whatever, at the end of it, you still learn how to be human. And I think that's what really instilled to me a lot of those lessons, you know. And I think that's what I tried to go ahead and put out into the world. And then, of course, there were a bunch of trials and errors that came along with it. But then when the successes of those lessons came through with like some hardcore friends that I stuck with throughout the years, and I think that's where I got the morals that were instilled in me. Yeah.
Dude, I love that answer. I learned ethics and morals and how to be a human being from television. Luke, what a dope answer, dude, because that's so true. And like that's so real for me too. Like I grew up, I loved Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
I know that is so lame, but like that show's the best. Amazing. That show's the best. You know, like, it's really well written. It's extremely funny. And, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, he's like a mopey Italian guy that, like, resents kind of being a dad. And he's like, I gotta do the right thing. But he always does the right thing for the most part, you know? And, like, I love that show. And you're so right. It's like, I think of myself as like a sitcom character. Like, you know, when my life's going pretty well, I'm like, yeah, like Scrubs is a great example. I loved Scrubs. I loved it. And, or like, I don't know. And it's so strange to me too, because I think that like, does it scare you at all that like, I don't think that kids are exposed to that type of, or like even like, I loved like that 70s show, like, you know, like most, like those are young people that are like, you know, full of flaws, but like they're trying to tell human stories, right?
You know what it is?
Does it scare you?
Yeah, because they are constantly in policing a lot of even like some of the art or stuff that we're trying to say, just because they're scared of what it would do to our children. And I would let Lucille watch that 70s show when she is 12, 13, even though like they smoke pot or whatever and talk about sex. But I mean, it's hidden very well. Honestly, I didn't know the circle was pot until I started smoking. And I was like, oh, what?
Oh, yeah. That's why they're all laughing and silly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's why.
I just thought they had a problem with the basement. It was so dark. I don't know. Or that's what the 70s were. Every basement in the 70s was playing rock and roll music.
I love that show. That show is so good. I love it. Eric Foreman is a fantastic. Have you watched that now? After Hyde's character is like a revealed like super predator. Like he's like really bad. Watching that show now is like, oh cool, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, you know, I don't remember Topher Grace, and the one who was on Orange Is the New Black, and then it's like
Wilmer Valderrama. Valderrama.
That's her name.
No.
I never knew that.
Deborah Prepon is Laura. Wilmer Valderrama is Fez.
He's fantastic. What a fantastic character.
Famously, when he left, he had an MTV show called Your Mama. Like, it was a Yo Mama Joe competition show on MTV.
Fantastic.
Played right after Pimp My Ride. MTV was wild back then.
That sounds really cool. I like that. Luke, I bet that's why we get along so well, is because we both watch so much television. Like, you know.
Why we get along so well is because we had no lives. Amazing.
Every day after school, I would just binge TV. I loved it. I fucking
loved it.
You know, like, give me a good laugh track. Give me a good sitcom, 3 cameras. Let's go, dude. Friends. Friends was, you know, I mean, that's like, whatever. Yeah. But, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
we didn't have cable too, which for me, so I had to like, but it was kind of cool because then I had to like learn how to like watch shit, like, you know, I had to like, learn how to torrent shit at like 14. Yeah. No, I mean like steal shit from the internet. Like it made me really good at like, you know, and then like the computer breaks because like you downloaded a Russian torrent that's like gonna over your computer.
Tell us the truth.
You have to,
when
like,
did you download on Limewire?
We're not gonna talk about it.
You thought it was a Linkin Park music video, but really, what was it? 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Anyway.
And that will die with me. Oh, no. I guess it's not. No, dude, are you kidding me? You ever watch those, like my friends, like, at the lunch table, you'd be like, hey, guys, this is the up like live leak Russian beheading that I would watch. You ever watch those? I don't know.
There's a specific website. There's like No Face.
Live leak.
Live leak was one. There was it was like late night Saturday nights when you got a little bit older, a little more cynical, and then your friends would be like, "Hey, let's watch some up shit," but you're the one friend that's just like, I don't want to, but I will, because I don't want to be not part of the group. And then you're like,
and you're like 15. You're like 15 watching the horrors of humanity. Like,
Faces of Death.
Did you ever watch that guy?
Yeah, that's the
okay.
one.
I've
Faces
never seen
of
that.
Death was where people generally die, like they get security cameras of people getting shot in the street, run over. Like there was one where it was what's the bull stampede, and then
the running of the bulls or whatever.
you
Yeah.
actually see someone get straight up like Hadouken and stabbed.
Have you seen that one? That one where the guy takes a revolver and he blows it off. Do you remember that video?
Was
that
he actually
video...
played Russian roulette and then lost?
No, that sounds horrible. No, but it's like a political guy. I think it's like
it was live.
Different...
it was like he was doing a speech and then he just straight up just went.
Yeah. And there's just so much, like, I just remember like being like 15. Yeah, it gushes out of his neck and there's so much and you're just like, and I just remember being like, wow, I think I've seen death in movies so much and I've never seen someone actually do that before. And like, I don't know, man, I wonder if YouTube's gonna be like, oh, good conversation. You know what? They're gonna demonetize this shit, but like if you make like, I don't know, like dumbass blonde who can't afford Netflix, like, that's monetizable. Anyway, Luke, it's great to talk to you, buddy. Do you remember addictinggames.com? Did you ever do that one?
Ooh, I did a bunch of Flash games. It's like Newgrounds.
Yeah, dude.
Like that.
Newgrounds. I loved it. Newgrounds.
Red versus Blue was the ish back then. Like, yeah, stuff like that too. Yeah.
I will say I never was a huge Red versus Blue guy because I never had an Xbox. I was a PS2 kid, so like,
and the Halo stuff just went.
I was so bad at Halo. My girlfriend in high school was so good at Halo, and I would go over to her house, and she would beat my ass at Halo. It was crazy. She was cracked because her dad was amazing, and they would play for hours.
Her dad too?
Oh yeah, he was sweaty, dude. He was like an IT guy. He was a nerd, and so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Luke, thank you for coming on and have this conversation. I'm building out a little cast of characters and things from my life, right? People from across the internet, but also people in my life that I have cool connections to and things. And so I guess it's like, how do you want the Chryslerverse to think about you, right? You are now a character in the Chryslerverse. And by the way, I think I'm going to make a wiki, okay? So, like, we're going to give you, like, a wiki article in the thing. And, like,
I'm setting up for the wiki
whatever's
picture.
happening with
That's
this
what it is.
here.
This is going to be it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. What characters do you most closely identify with so that like when we build out the wiki and like people know how to think about you?
Are you thinking when you say characters, you mean like actual like characters or like archetypes?
I mean both. I mean like actual characters because I think there's going to be like archetypes in there, and then I also think that there's going to be like I identify with this character, like Spider-Man, like I don't know, like
I think mine's gonna be a weird like Venn diagram of like, I think who's like my Venn diagram of like how my brain works. It's definitely Seth Meyers, already off to a weird start, and then specifically JD from Scrubs, specifically JD, And then,
yes, dude. Does that mean I'm Turk?
See those dance moves.
Can I be Turk? I want to be Turk. There's a video on Patreon of me dancing my ass off.
And then maybe like John Lennon, just to look sophisticated. He was my
nice,
hero.
to get some musical thrown in there. I love that. That's cool. I wish I was cool enough to have a favorite Beatle. I don't know much about the Beatles. Ringo has the best name. Ringo Starr. Are you
don't
kidding
tell
me?
people you're not a Beatles fan.
Okay. No, that's my whole shtick. Is like I say things that are so honest that like people are like, oh, I don't.
Realistically, you could have said,
like that's kind of the shtick.
And I would actually believe you based off of our relationship.
No, I watched a lot of. I watched too much Friends. I don't think that show's that funny. How I Met Your Mother is like a better Friends to me. Like, you know, that's how Friends should have been written, you know. But you can only get How I Met Your Mother if they're standing on the shoulders of giants, you know. So you can't get How I Met Your Mother without Friends. Are you kidding me? I had this conversation once with somebody, and I was trying to explain to them, I'm like, you know, movies like Shrek paved the way for things like Monsters Inc. And then like movies like Monsters Inc. paved the way for like a lot of these new like Pixar films and stuff. And like they were like, you don't know that, and blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this is the history of computer animation. What are you talking about? I don't know this. They're like, well, you're just embellishing all this shit. And it's like, I will fight you. Like, you know, art imitates life, which imitates art, and it's a recursive snake that eats its own tail. And I will die on this hill. Are you kidding me? Like, storytelling, thank you, sir. Because most people won't, and most people will just gaslight me and be like, actually, you don't know fuck all, and you should go for yourself. And also, Noah, you can't use AI. Here, I'm going to write this shitty comment, you, and eat my ass. Like, oh, man. Dude, the internet's crazy, Luke. The internet's crazy. I woke up to a comment this morning that was just like, this is embarrassing, and you're a fucking idiot, asshole, moron, and like, how dare you? And it just like my whole day was just like, oh, okay. So now I'm pissed.
Do you want me to go light them up? In the comments? All right. Every single comment under your YouTube that's negative, I will reply back something very specific to that person. No, you said
no.
Yes.
You don't have to personally, but like, I don't know, like. Honestly, like, here's the thing, is that the nice people that leave nice and thoughtful and critical thinking comments, like, they don't comment, because it's kind of, like, this is a weird thing to say, but, like, you know, like, the internet is full of, like, shitbags that, like, you know, are just like, bah! Like, you know, that's what most people are like that leave internet comments, right? There's an overlap of people that I really, really like in my life, right? And people who leave internet comments. That's a Venn diagram where the like you know, the overlap is very small, and the ones that do, you know, actually support me, those people are cool as okay, like, I don't know, but anyway, sorry. I if you comment on my videos, thank you so much. I didn't mean to insult you. I bet you're a wonderful person, but like, I don't know, unless you say shitty things about how I shouldn't use AI, then you should.
We will find
get hit by a bus.
We'll hit you with a bus.
Luke.
Oh, it's 100%
It's not a threat. It's not. No. It's not a threat. No, it's not. I'm going to find you and hit you with a bus. It's I wish you would walk into traffic. Right? It's on you. Right?
No,
it's
I
like
know you
it's
don't
not.
want to get demonetized.
That's
but
what
it's
it is.
way too late for that. We will find them and we will hit them with a bus.
There'd be a lot of people. It would have to be a really resilient bus. Cool, Luke. How can the people help you? Anything that you're trying to promote? Where can we find your cool music that like you are going to reactivate in 5 years?
I appreciate that. So loose text, LOOSE, loose, and then text TEXT.
Yeah.
On all
loose
platforms.
text
Instagram,
on all platforms.
but that's personal. I don't really expose any music there. On TikTok, there were some sketches there that I did back in the day. On Spotify, that's all the music stuff. Check that out.
Oh yeah. Love it. And everywhere else
On my birth
where
certificate.
things can be consumed. Guys, there's a bunch of ways that you can help this show. I'm trying to build my own little YouTube cinematic universe of people from my life, and also cool like people that are mind-blowing to interview. Every once in a while I'll land somebody in my DMs who's like, yeah, I'll go on your weird podcast. Why not? So like, I don't know. I think it's really fun. So if you like this show, please hit the like button and support this shit, because that's super helpful. Leave a comment too. Be like, hey, like, you know, like, if you're going to be shitty, that's fine, but just be shitty to me. Don't be shitty to Luke, because Luke's cool. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That always helps. You know, just, like, interact with my shit. That's super helpful. Instagram, Noah Chrysler. All the links are in the description. Luke, here's an idea that I had. I'm going to build a ChatGPT, custom GPT that, like, because, like, every once in a while, you will find one person in 1,000 that's like, what can I actually do to, like, help you, right? And then it's, like, it's weird because, like, you don't want to just like constantly like badger that person with like, well, you know, these 10 things could really help me, right? So instead, I'm going to like code a like ChatGPT thing that's like, hey, like Noah is like too embarrassed to directly ask you how to help, but like, you know, like here are like 100 different things that you could do that are probably free that like, you know, and here's like a I don't know. So I'm really stoked about that. And maybe by the time this is published, that might exist in some capacity. And if so, it's going to be in the description. But anyway, cool. Yeah. And guys, one of the best things that you could possibly do to help me is to support on Patreon. Because like the shit that I use to produce all this shit costs money. And like also it's expensive to live in 2025 because we just went through 4 years of 20% inflation and I want to die. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, you can
Luke,
inflate
any
these.
final closing thoughts? Nice, dude. Hopefully you don't get fired from your job because I don't have a job to get fired from. So
Let's try it. Where's the button?
and done.